Hi everyone, it is time for the very last picture from this page from Tiny Year by Agotapop, and it is the Letters to Father Christmas, page 46, and we actually have the letters to colour today. Now I always find envelopes, letters, things like that quite difficult to colour, not in that they're hard shapes to colour, but in that the colours, what colours do we use for letters? What I think I'm going to do is pick my colours first for the envelopes and then do the rest. Although these are leaves, they'll probably be green. But what I thought I would do was do some greens and reds, make it really festive and see how it looked really. So I'm just going to grab a colour and get started with my Staedtler Design Journey pencils. This is the 550, which is called pale green, and I'm going to do this one here. I don't want it too dark because we want to be able to read the writing on it, hence the pale green, but I still think it's quite a festive green. I know that might sound a little bit silly, but I think colours like olive, not olive greens, yellowy greens, I don't think they're so festive. I always like a more bluey green or a mid green rather than an olive. And so we'll do some different, what I feel might be Christmassy festive envelopes. I love the stamp. Can you see the stamp? It's got a little heart on it. It's really cute. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wait for this one, I think, if I've got it timed correctly in my head, that you had to wait for yesterday's planner page, which I haven't done yet. I wanted to sort of do all this page in one go. Well, not in one go, across a couple of days. It made more sense than, you know, stopping and then doing a different video. But I just had a little brainwave about an Advent idea. I think I'm going to put a poll, which it's not good me telling you because it would have already happened. Put a poll on my YouTube to ask people what they want. Might be the best way. Yeah, we'll see what people want. There's that one. I think it looks quite festive. It's quite pale. That's what I wanted. I'll have a think about the stamp after. I just want to get all the envelopes done. Behind it, I'm going to do a red one. I know we're getting really stereotyped, but this is 29. I'm going to do a red envelope. We do get I mean, there are many colours that, of course, it could be, you know, these days, red now. I'm just trying to work it out. Is that part of that one? No. I think this is this one. Yeah. Nearly got in the muddle there. You know, obviously Christmas cards and decorations come in all sorts of colour schemes these days. But the red and green is very traditional, isn't it? There we go. Now I think this bit is this one. This one, I think it must be part of this red one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's part of that one. Yes, that looks right. Does to my eye anyway. Hopefully my eye's right. Now I'm thinking maybe a grey one behind here, just to sort of balance it out a bit, look a little bit more, I can use the 80, maybe like it's silvery, but I can't really do a silver effect when it's split like this, but often a silvery envelope is just quite matte anyway, because it's quite difficult to do unless you actually use foil, which they don't really for envelopes. Can't write on it then. Hopefully this makes sense. We'll do a sort of goldish one as well with just one colour, and hopefully, as I say, it'll all make sense. Hopefully. And that must be part of this one. Yeah. Now we've got 2 left. I think I'm going to do this one in what I think is the gold. I usually use the gold ochre, the number 16 for a gold. Here it is. So I'm going to do this big one here with this. I'm sort of cheating really by not making a proper gold, but I think this will work. I've got one last one to decide on. Oh, we've got to get between all these little bits of berries. Hang on. Let's do that bit first. That's in there. That's there. That's a bit there. There we go. It's less complicated than I thought. Agata's drawing style is nice and neat, and it makes it easier, I think, for me to, well, I know it makes it easier for me to decipher what's going on. I don't normally have any trouble at all. There I was just making sure I was concentrating rather than me actually struggling. I wasn't struggling. Whereas there are some Layla Dooley, I've just been doing some from her flower year. Whew, I really struggle with trying to figure out what's what. I cheated a bit actually. I was doing a page which had ivy and some other plant. I just did it all the same colour. It's probably a bit naughty, but it was just so much easier. And yeah, I'm trying to make this look a little bit more even. There we go. And then this one, what should we do? I don't really want to go with, I might go with the darker green. Let's go with the 5. As soon as I found it after dropping it for the other video, although I did find it eventually, didn't I? But it's quite a different shade of green, so I think it looks fine with the other green, you know, they're just all different. I mean, normally envelopes are usually mainly white, but we don't have to, we want to colour. Nice bright colours. Festive and colourful. There we go. Now, let's have a little look at these stamps. See, this one's got holly on it. So I'm going to grab the number 52 to colour in that holly. Now the bit around the edge of the stamp is usually white. So I'm going to leave that white. I think that will make sense. This one's got a Christmas tree on it. It's so small. I'm going to use 551 for the Christmas tree. And colour that in. It looks like it's even decorated, but we're going to pretend it's not. And there's a tiny, tiny little base bit. So I need a dark brown. I'm going to pick this one because it's sharpest, 76. Just to mark that in there. Then we need some backgrounds for these, but also this heart-shaped one I'm going to do in a nice red. I'm going to use the 299, but I'm going to sharpen it because it's teeny weeny. Now for this red one, we've got a little rim around, a little frame, sorry, is probably the right word, around here, which I'm also going to use this red for, like that. We go. And for the backgrounds, I think for this one I'm going to use this same red. I'm going to use it really lightly in the background, like that. Then in the background of the holly, I'm going to use the gold colour that we used, 16, again lightly. Just mix the colours around a little bit. Fun. And then this one I'm going to use the grey, the 80, again just slightly. There we go. Now we've got our pegs. Now the little pieces coming across are usually silver and metallic. I'm going to use the 8, I think, for that. I'm just going to sharpen it. This one's really long. Obviously don't use it very often. Whoops, there it is, 8. And what I want to do is just put a little tad on the ends and fade it into the middle so it looks shiny. So you can see that it's supposed to be metallic. like that. Now the twine could be green, it could be the stem, or it could just be black or red or something. Have a little think about that. I'm going to, have a think about that when I do these pegs. Now pegs are usually really pale wood. I do not have that colour at all. I think I'm going to use this one. This is the 49, and I'm going to use it really gently, really lightly, hoping that it just looks like a little light wood. It's too orangey, I'm very aware of that, but I just don't have anything else really that I can use. And I need to make that bit a little bit darker there, where it would be shadowed. There we go. I'm okay with that. It's very pale, but that's fine. You can do yours a little bit darker if you want to, or grab a beige from a different set. Now leaves, we've got green right here, we've got green leaves. I'm thinking I could go dark down the 38 route, which is quite blue, or I could go light and use the 52, or even lighter in the 53. No, 50, sorry, 50 or 53. I think I'm going to try the 50. Okay, we're quite pale, but we haven't used this green, and because these are leaves and they're not holly leaves or ivy leaves, you don't really know what they are. I think the colour is less important, whereas holly would never be this pale, although I did use it for holly on a different page, or a very light green, just because I wanted to play around with some pastels. But normally it wouldn't be this pale. Now, my husband's mopping the bathrooms. I can hear him up there with the mop bucket. I asked him to, because when I vacuum them, I can't get into all the nooks and crannies, and there's some dusty areas and things like that, and every so often it could do with just a good wash. So he's doing that for me, which is good of him. He does like mopping. He says he finds it very therapeutic, very meditative. So I let him do it if he likes it. I don't mind doing it either, but you know, I was ironing and cleaning the bathrooms and things like that, so I wanted to come and get on with this. Now I'm going to leave the twine till last. I don't think it's that important with regards to it needing to be a particular colour, but I'm looking at these berries and I'm thinking, do I just go red? I think I will. I think I'm going to pick the 260. It's quite a dark red. I'm going to make them darker at the bottom, I think, and sort of layer it up more down at the bottom and put less towards the top of the berry. I can hear a helicopter. Might be there's some horse racing going on in the area, not that near us, but there's an airport a little while away, quite far away, but it would be this direction if someone posh was going to the races in a helicopter. There is the facility to do that at that place, so it could be. Although it's getting a bit late in the day, maybe they're going home. I mean, I can't tell what direction they're going in. Okay, so there are sort of dark reddish berries. It's a little bit different, isn't it? Now the stems, we have a choice. We could go with the green, we could go with the brown, or we could just use the same red. I want to do a different colour, not stay with the red. I'm thinking that this colour might work. I'm not very keen on this colour, number 7. I used it up here and I didn't like it, but I think for the stem of this, it might just work because it will match the berries. And I just think it's going to work. It's not bad. There we go. I think what I'm going to do for this twine is go for a really bright red. We've used the ones that I want, the 29 I want. I'm going to use that. See what you think. I was tempted to use a black, but I decided black isn't really festive. I have seen black Christmas trees with black things hanging on it, black sparkles and that sort of thing, but it wasn't really for me. Okay, so now we've done that main work, what I want to do is put in some shadows. I'm going to use my black again, so we do need to be a little bit careful, as I've said before, to make sure you don't put it down too hard. But I'm just going to put a little bit, this is number 9 by the way, a little bit here just to create a bit of shadow. And between the cards, just gently layer it up gently, sit back away. Once you've finished doing it, sit back away and see whether it's enough. You can add, but taking it away is difficult. I mean, you could use an eraser, but because we've got all that colour underneath, it could be really tricky to get that working for you. So it's best to try to just gently do it like that. You can do it. I know if you're heavy-handed, it's not so easy, like me, I am, but I'm just concentrating a little bit harder, which again is hard for me, especially when I'm yapping. I'd much rather be yapping than concentrating. You can do it, just concentrate. There we go, and around the peg as well, underneath the metal bit. You can even put a little bit around the stamp, because it might just not be quite sitting flat, because you know, someone hasn't licked it properly. Not that we lick stamps these days, they're all self-adhesive. It might just not have been stuck down quite right. I don't think I did that bit, but maybe I did. Under there and around there. Like that under our peg. I'm stopping talking at times, concentration. I just realised I hadn't done over here. Now we usually go underneath things because sort of assume the light is coming down from above. But there we go. I think I'm going to leave that there. Let's just straighten it up a little bit. There we go. So that is our last one. And we're going to just take a peep at the whole page. So our selection of little festive bits and pieces. There we go. There it is, all done. Now I've really enjoyed that, but I always enjoy an Agotapop page. So some of them have some glitter and sparkle, white pens, some of them just don't. I just mixed it up a little bit. You could put some white on the berries here to make them look a bit more shiny. You could outline them with glitter and the leaves if you want to. You could even put some sort of glittery pen on here as if they were writing in glitter. Or metallics or something, you know. You can sort of sparkle it up. Is that the right word? Maybe. If you want to, but I like the simplicity of it like that, and this one just without any sparkle. I mean, again, here with this one, you could put some around the edges of the stars, around the berries and leaves, even on the present, you know, whatever you feel works. But I just quite like it just plain today. It's just how my mood is today, you know. But there we go. So there is that page done. Thank you so much for watching this series. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and happy colouring.